My name is Ken Corwin. I teach the Michigan Mechanical Exam Prep course, and I wanted to cover what took effect July 29, 2021 with the new licensing law changes for mechanical contractors and the application that took effect at that time. Here's the application, and I'm going to cover how you fill it out initially as if you've never had a license and how you add to it if you already have a license. The first thing I would strongly recommend is you go to this website and you set up an account through Excella. This is going to allow you to do this application online. You can do your attachments, and when it's time to renew your application, you can also renew it on this website. So on the first part, you don't have to worry about these first three boxes as they are for adding to a license. You're going to do your last name, first, middle initial, social security number, address, city, state, zip code, county, telephone number, and email address. Make sure you have the email address. That's the best way they're going to correspond with you. The work classification categories, in order to be able to test in this category, you need to be approved 6,000 hours work experience in each category. So whoever you work for has to have this category on their license. If they do not have this category, we'll cover that in a little bit, how to add it. But initially, they've got to have it on their license. So hydronic heating and cooling process piping, that allows you to do residential boilers and the hydronic piping for the boilers. Category 2, HVAC equipment. This is a category that you want to get. This allows you to do gas piping, venting, installation of furnaces, water heaters, air conditioners, fireplaces. This is the 3-hour, 150 question test, but it covers about 85% of everything out there. Category 3, ductwork. If you're going to do ductwork, whether it is vents, chimneys, you're going to clean dryer vents, you're going to do commercial duct systems, kitchen exhaust systems, you need Category 3. If you have Category 2, you do not need 3 as it is included in 2. Category 4 refrigeration is for your commercial style refrigeration, walk-in coolers, chillers, freezers, anything except human comfort. That would be Category 4. Category 5, limited heating service. This is for up to 400,000 BTUs. Category 6, unlimited heating service is everything else out there. If you're going to do CSD1 testing on commercial boilers, and you're going to do that under your service category, you need to have a limited for up to 400,000 and unlimited for everything else. This is what covers the CSD1 testing. Limited refrigeration, air conditioning, and unlimited refrigeration. Limited is for Group 1 refrigerants. If you go to Chapter 10 in the Michigan Mechanical Code Book, page 99, you will find a table that's going to list all the refrigerants that Michigan currently recognizes and the group refrigerant it is. If all you work with is Group 1 refrigerants, it's Category 7. If you work with everything else, it's Category 8. You need to pay attention to what some of the contractors are doing or manufacturers are doing and what they're making with equipment. If you're going to use any propane-based refrigeration, it's going to be Category 8. Fire suppression, if you're going to do any type of fire suppression, NFPA 13, be Category 9. Category 10 specialty license, you have the options of solar heating and cooling, solid fuel equipment and vented decorative gas appliances, LP distribution piping, fuel gas piping, and venting. If you have Category 2, you do not need any of the specialty license. They all fall under 2. Category 1 hydronic heating and cooling allows you to set a residential boiler in place and to do all of the piping. It does not allow you to do gas piping or venting. In order to do that, you're also going to have Category 2 or Category 10E. So that is your license categories. So we're on this section right here, experience documentation required. For each category that you selected, you have to provide a document, and you need to be as thorough as you can on the work experience under this category. So if you're doing hydronic heating and cooling, process piping, you're going to label it as such. You're going to write everything you've ever done with that, including setting of the boiler, process piping, type of materials, safety controls, everything you can think of from the start of the job to the end of the job, including sizing of the equipment, combustion air, whatever you had to do, be thorough. And then you have to have the owner of the business, that's a contractor of record, the person who owns the contractor's license, sign that document. It does not have to be notarized. If you can prove that you have a 2-year degree, that you've completed an HVAC program that the state has acknowledged, you can reduce your 6,000 hours by 2,000 hours. So instead of 3 years, you only need 2 years. So for each category, you have to have a document, and it has to be signed by the person that's the contractor of record for the company. And we will cover what happens if they won't sign it in a minute. So then you're going to check, yes, you meet the requirements, you're going to sign it, you're going to date it, you are going to send in $300 with your application. So if you do this through the Accelerate website, you can do it all online, just upload all your documents. If not, you print them all off and provide it. But again, be thorough with the information so they accept it the first time. I strongly suggest all of these categories that you can prove up front that you have 6,000 hours. On your initial application, check the categories, provide the documentation, and send it into the state of Michigan. Once they approve you to take the exam with PSI, you have 1 year to take that exam. If you do not take the exam, if you choose not to, there is no penalty against you. However, if within that year you decide that you want to add it, you have to fill out another application, send it into the state, and get it approved. So I strongly suggest do them all at once. And then you send this in. This next section here, adding classification to a license to your existing license. When you go to the top of this application and you want to add to it, if you can prove 6,000 hours under one of these categories, if you just didn't do it the first time, you would check that box, you would provide your documentation, you would send it into the state of Michigan at any time you want to. What this section here is allowing you to do is if you have never worked in a category, it allows you to add to that category after 3 years. So an example of that is if I wanted to add ductwork to my license for some reason, and I never had that on my category. Once I pass the test and I have a license under Category B HVAC equipment, I can send in to take the ductwork category 3 years after I've held that license. So that's what this section here is stating. If you don't have a category that you can prove you have the experience under, get a license, wait 3 years, and then send in an application to take that test. So here in the bottom, when you do that, you're going to add a classification in the first year, they're going to want another $300. You add it in the second year, they want $200. You add it in the third year, they want $100. So this is the actual act that was signed into law, and it was introduced by Senator Victory. This first section, Section A, is what we talked about. If you can prove the experience, you have 6,000 hours at any time, you can add your license. You do not have to wait 3 years. You can do it initially or you can do it a year later. Section B is the one that's talking about if you've never had that category and you can't prove it. This is where you, after 3 years, then you can take a test to add to that category. So this is a good change. It allows you to be able to add to your license anytime. Just match these categories up after 3 years' time, and you will be able to add to your categories. So now, if you have someone that will not sign off on your work experience, this puts you as a mechanical applicant in a bad spot. You work for somebody, they don't want you to work for yourself. They can hold that up just by stating, I'm not signing it, and there's nothing legally that makes you have to sign it or them have to sign it. So this is a reply I received in a situation where a former or current mechanical contractor employer is unable or refuses to provide the statement signed under the penalty of perjury, if they don't want to sign it, to provide the applicant to go before the Board of Mechanical Rules and provide the equivalent of the statement experience. The equivalent of the mechanical contractor statement experience might include proof that the applicant worked at the mechanical contractor company, a W-2 or pay stub, so you can provide them, take them in with you. Company written job description, so if your company has a written job description, whether on a website or you have something, you can prove what the job description was. Statement signed under perjury from co-workers, so if you get some co-workers stating that you did that work, or from customers or anything else you feel that would help you prove your point without that business owner signing off, then you can go and meet with the mechanical board, and they meet down in Lansing every 3 months. So again, that puts you in a bad spot where you have to be able to prove that, and there's nothing on the business owner or contractor of record to sign that for you. So if you have any questions, if that's a concern you have, you can't get your employer to do that for you, I would suggest that you contact Senator Roger Victory, State Senator 30th District. He represents Ottawa County. There's his phone number, there's his email address, and reach out to him and express your concerns. So that is a new process. That's what took effect. By now, if you would have sent your application in, if you don't send enough information, they're going to send it back and they're going to tell you they need more work details. So again, be as thorough as possible the first time. It's going to be a lot of work up front. You write down for Category 2 HVAC equipment, write everything you've ever done. Thermostat wire, whatever it might be that you've done, sizing of equipment, manual J, manual D. Be as thorough as you can. It's going to take a lot of time, but that's what they're going to look for work experience.